Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Awesome. Very glad to be here. Hi, Amit, Gaurav, Anil, Jatin. So very glad to be here. And I know this is a very important topic for today. Thanks to CI to bring this on the table, right? And at least for me, the three trends is evolving. The three trends are actually evolving in supply chain. Resilience is one important trend, and second is actually on the digitalization, and third is the sustainability. And we are, talking about sustainability today, which is a very important topic. Thanks to everyone for joining this session, right? And we are talking about the overall e-com retail supply chain, under which our subtopic is on green initiatives trickling down to e-commerce logistics in India. So yeah. So with this note, I'll probably invite all the panel members. I'll probably give an introduction of the panel members, and then we can go on. Right? Sorry, someone was saying something. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Yeah, I think there was some noise. Yeah. Okay. So I welcome all panel members for this enthralling session, and definitely we're going to actually bring the value for audience for sure. Thanks, AI, for bringing this platform as well. I'll probably start introducing the panel members, right? So, Captain, welcome. Thanks for joining us, Captain Jatin. Really glad to have you in the panel. And just give me a second. Yeah, I probably just introduce Captain. Yeah, Captain Jatin, I think thanks for joining us. Director, Strategy and Solutions at Etias Digilog. And Captain Jatin is a logistics professional trained in the Indian Army. He has close to 2 decades of experience in the sector, and actually having a fantastic, experience in software solutions, digital solutions, how we can take it to the, the full-fledged cloud platform. Very, very glad to have you, Jatin, in the panel. Really appreciate you, sir. Yeah. And we have Mr. Gaurav. Gaurav, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Mr. Gaurav Gautam is the Chief Sales Officer at Burma Group, and he has 15 years experience in the sector and comes with the rich experience in the overall value chain, the business value chain, and also going to value add from a sustainability point of view as well. So very, very glad to have you, Gaurav. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. And we have Mr. Anil Kumar Mishra. So thanks, Anil. Thanks for joining. He's the head logistics at Pladis Global, and he has almost 20 years of experience with the diverse supply chain context in FMCG, white goods, IT, automotive, retail, and healthcare, and whatnot, even in freight forwarding. So very, very glad to have you, sir. Really, I'm excited to kind of have the fantastic discussion, especially in the topic of sustainability. So very glad to have you, Mr. Anil. Yeah. Awesome. Mr. Amit, welcome. Thanks for joining us. AVP Operations and Business Head, B2C, actually looking at the B2C, ABs at Express Bs. Very important topic for you. I think e-commerce logistics, I think you're the right person. Definitely we can learn a lot from you. 16 years of experience and diverse, especially in supply chain, operations, procurement, logistics, manufacturing across food and retail. Very, very glad to have you. And I know industry point of view, you have a lot of experience from the pharma, auto, chemical, oil and gas. I think many industries are actually also embarking this journey. This is going to be a fantastic experience for the audience, from all of you, right? So thanks, Dr. Banu. Thanks for joining us. Thanks a lot. So as I mentioned, let's step back. This topic is very important topic, right? Amidst the global concern for climate change, the big businesses are kind of assuming more responsibility of their environmental impact. So I completely understand people are talking about the risk and resilience of supply chain. That is very critical. And because today, the last 2 years, pandemic actually brought in a lot of complications, a lot of complexity and flexibility. That's why resilience is so important. And that actually gained more attention. So many companies are tending towards resilience. That is very well settled. If you ask me, people reimagination the resilience in an effective way. So that is mostly settled well. Digitalization, I would actually call it as a intelligent digitalization. It is not about complete digitalization, because some people want automation in specific areas. We don't need to automate everything, right? So that way, intelligent digitization has also gone to some extent. Many companies are automating, semi-automating, digitalization of their supply chain or value chain is also happened a lot, right? That is also a second area happened a lot. But the third area, which is sustainability, which is very critical, and today consumers are demanding transparency. There are a lot of regulations are evolving, and that's where this particular topic is very important. How do you bring the green initiatives, the green sustainability initiatives, how that's actually trickling down the overall logistics, especially the e-commerce logistics in India, and how people can examine the push for sustainability is a very important topic, right? And today, if you ask me, the end customer, they actually they have a very distinct way of implementing the e-commerce logistics, right? So especially via packaging, via digitalization, via last mile, optimized last mile delivery. There are many ways, right? I think that's where some of the key questions definitely are going to answer through our panel discussions. With this thought, I'll probably start the discussion and the panel discussion. So we'll do the below as overall panel. We actually I go around and discuss the questions with all the panel members. And if any specific questions from the audience, Sham, I think please help us. If any questions you are receiving, please send back to us over the chat so that I probably collect. I mean, some questions can come for a specific expert. I'll probably pass on the questions. Otherwise, I'll probably decide how we can ask the questions among the 4 experts we have in the panel today. So panel questions, any questions, in the middle part, please ask. No problem. I think we'll actually try to have those questions also in the panel. And finally, we'll keep 15 minutes for the Q&A part, and that's where I think we park. All the questions can be answered in case I think we're going to get more from audience. So that's how we can plan the entire session, right? So with this, anything, Dr. Bhanu, to add on from your side? Fantastic, awesome. So I think with this, I'll probably start. With I think some of the very critical area of question I want to start, right? So, Captain Jatin, I'll probably start from you because today I think people are stepping back and thinking, I will do a green initiative by manual way, but I think how do I use a digitization, right? That's what I think many people are thinking, right? So the first question to you, Captain, one is how would digitalization support, especially these sustainability initiatives and green initiatives? Because I think your company is now looking at the platform system and the cloud platform, right? So how digitalization kind of support, especially the execution of green logistics and running the green logistics or green initiatives in logistics. So would love to kind of understand from you. We'll start from there because everyone actually wanted to kind of get a sense. I do manual, I do semi-automation, but how do I move to a full-fledged digitalization, right? So would love to start from you, Captain Jatin. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ganesh. And thank you, Dr. Bhanu, for organizing this for us to come together and share some ideas. I think it's, I hope I'm audible. Am I clear?
Very good. Very
good. Great. So, Dr. Ganesh, if you allow me, I'll just take a minute to talk about latest Digilog because, it's important and it's an interesting, story that I want to share with the audience today. Basically, this company has been established by Mr. Anil Arora and myself, and we started in 2018. In our previous professional journey, we'd been serving a lot of Fortune 500 companies. So we had a lot of exposure to the systems and processes of large organizations. And after having done that for about 15 years, we thought that we needed to do something for emerging enterprises in the country, and especially small and medium enterprises, which have a lot of potential, but somehow they're not able to, compete with the larger companies that are there. They're very good with their production processes and, practices, but logistics is a space that they lag in. When we started on this journey, we wanted to only focus on digitization. And as you would appreciate, that logistics digitization is a slightly more complex area compared to, let's say, human resource digitization or finance and accounting digitization, which we've seen happening over the last 20 years since ERPs have come into the space. logistics digitization has mostly been limited to warehouse management systems or transport management systems in isolation. And especially with respect to e-commerce and retail, there's been a lot of focus on transport management systems. As you pointed out, people are looking at route optimization solutions, so on and so forth. Interestingly, when we got onto this journey, obviously Corona also hit, but we realized that it was very important to be able to build resilient supply chains and also sustainable supply chains. And it came as a learning to us, interestingly, that digitization is actually going to contribute in a big way towards sustainability. And it will be my endeavor today to be able to, share my views around how that happens. And I think the first thing that comes to our mind is that when we work with our clients, we start with something called an as-is process mapping. Now, that as-is process mapping is an activity where we go in, understand their systems, understand their legacy technologies, talk to their plant operators, shop floor, senior management, to be able to build a business process flow of what they're presently doing. And the second step is to be able to create a 2B solution. Now, Dr. Ganesh, when we are creating that 2B solution, what we really do is that we try to bring in certain digital interventions by which those processes can be automated. And very importantly, our focus is always to not bring in the best in class, but we always bring in the best in context technology, which will be applicable to a business process. Interestingly, and very importantly, what has happened in most of the cases, as far as our clients are concerned, is that when we do our business process mapping exercise, there are certain non-value added activities that we observe that are being run in the system. The moment we look at those activities, it is but obvious for us to sort of re-engineer them and say that, okay, what are the activities that can be plucked out of the systems? What are the activities that can be automated? Because not everything can, at the blink of an eyelid be automated. It has to be something which has to be relevant to the client. And we've been able to drive about 25 to 30% reduction in the overall business process flow. Right now, and when I was talking to some sustainability experts and trying to understand what are those hard capex related items which are really required to create sustainable supply chains, they said that as important as those capex items are, so is software, and that is where we come in. So if by doing a simple exercise of bringing in a business process re-engineering activity, looking at certain processes that were running previously, and by digital interventions, what are you able to do? And I would like to cite an example here so that our audience can better understand. And this is going to be very, very rudimentary. All of us here who are operating warehouses, when a vehicle reports at the gate, we obviously, there are very few organizations that get an intimation of a delivery which is going to come in. But let's say a vehicle reports at a gate, we would have a gate entry register, we would have a vehicle invert register, we would have a material register. All of those things need to be filled and the data needs to be maintained. And we all know that that data is not available to anybody else, but is getting stored in those registers and probably just locked in some cupboard. The moment ATUS comes in, ATUS does a gate entry process which is automated. Right? A simple gate entry process getting automated allows us to reduce all the paper usage, makes it a totally digitized way of doing the same process, and it is much easier. Now, so you take this from gate entry to, let's say, placement at the dock, to unloading of the vehicle, to put away and GRM. The moment I'm able to apply all these digital interventions to each of these sub-activities of a logistics process, we are able to actually bring down drastic reduction in the overall process flow. So that, I think, is very important. And this, also aligns with one thought, Dr. Ganesh, that everybody is saying that, it's not, sustainability is not something that you can buy and implement. Sustainability is something that has to come in as a thought process. It has to become a part of, the DNA of the people. And this is how we are able to drive it through digitization, basically by just telling them that if you can reduce the total time taken, the total resources deputed on a single process, that itself is contributing in a big way to making logistics sustainable. So I think that's a big one that we have learned from our customer implementations.
No, fantastic, right? I think you are it on the nail, because today the top management attention obviously the cost excellence is everyone would love to have it. I think that's a no-brainer. How do you tag along your sustainability along with the cost initiatives? That is actually vital, right? And if you kind of step back and see, I know I'm going to have a sustainability goals. That is fantastic, but I'm going to kind of think through indirect initiatives, which is like also a cost efficient, also bring the profit margin on the table. At the same time, it also brings sustainability. I think that's where I think your ideas are really fantastic, right? And I know this might require a little bit of capex and so on and so forth. People have to evaluate what is the right ROI, what is the right capex level you have to do it, and it might vary with respect to each company. But I think you clearly indicate, right? So especially the system like a TMS, WMS, and so on and so forth, all this actually can really reduce the overall footprint, both in logistics and warehousing, indirectly, which actually brings the margin as well on the table. Thanks, Captain. I'll probably come back and hear more about the software and system platform. I want to kind of understand this. Maybe I think I'll switch gear to maybe Mr. Anil, right? Anil, thanks for joining. I know you come from Platis Global. I think what I want to understand, right? It may not be from your India context. I want to understand both India as well global context. Maybe you can start with the global context, right? What you as a company doing as the logistics sustainability initiatives, the green initiatives, you already have taken global level, and now you are actually learning from there, and you might have aspiration, right? I think, okay, this done in global level, how do I bring something to my local, to India level? Just to get a sense what is going on in a global level for your company in an overall setup, and how we are embarking, and what is your plans to kind of bring some of those ideas to India level? And do you think is it possible in the near future? And would love to understand that more, Anil. And from there, probably you can actually get to know how people actually can leverage the global companies, the global group companies to kind of influence into the India setup as well. Would love to know your thoughts, Anil. Yeah.
Thanks, Ganesh. Good afternoon, everyone. Before starting the topic on the sustainability, go green, just let us brief about our company and myself so that everyone can aware. That myself, Anil Mishra, I associated with the Platis Global last 6 years, and currently heading the procurement and your logistic and sales and operation planning for the India. And the Platis Global is a British confectionery and the snack food company, encompassing the United Biscuits, Ulkar, Godiva, and the Godiva chocolates and the DMAT candy company. It was formed in the January 2016 as a subsidiary of the Eldis Holding, with the headquarter in the London, England. And in India, we have recently shifted the office in Gurgaon, and operating in India since 2009. We have a plant in Himachal Pradesh. We are a single sole this production plant of the biscuits in the Himachal Pradesh in the north of the India. And we have a different product category, including the digestive, Mari, whole wheat Mari, cream, cracker, cookies, and the most of the thing all of you are using in at your home with your family. And right now that we are doing from India the domestic market as well as the export different countries, and as well as they do the import from the Istanbul and the UK. And we have a different brand like McVitie's and the cars, Flip, Go Ahead, and Godiva, Jacob, and Ulker. And our purpose of that, we always focus on the happiness with the every bite. Now I am going to on the topic which we are talking about, the sustainability. Yes, they are the proven business benefit to the sustainability, which can through our green whatever we are taking from the environment, we are supposed to as a social and responsibility to return back. And in the company, when we talk about the Platis Global is having the very focus area on the this Go Green, and we have regular monitoring and the regular data taking from the local plant and factory to the that our global headquarter. And in regard to that initiatives at the India level, we always focus on how to uh, impact environment to our manufacturing process on the minimum level. Then we focus on the reduce the wastage. It is at the plant level we always focus on how to reduce the wastage, how to reduce the damage and expiry, because we have a very slow shelf life in the product. It is your 6 month to 9 month, and we always have that focus area of the freshness in the market. So that is again the focus area at the plant level as well as the market level also, to reduce so that it can support to the environment. And always for this activity we are having a meeting and we are having the review with the plant sales team to, so that it can be the minimum level at the our DNE. And reduce the scrap material during the productions also. That is a focus area by the our that. And we are very happy to inform you that we are the list that conversion as well as this damage, expiry, and your particular reduction in the wastage as a global level. India plant is a very efficient and economical as per their global our update. And apart from that, use the energy efficient light bulb also. We have a plant where earlier was having the different type of, now we are focusing on the solar supported energy as well as the different run the plant. We have LPG. Earlier it was the diesel and other that fuel in the, now we are focusing on to that other part of that this fuel. Engage the employees also. We earlier it was not that, now the we are engaging the employee on the regular basis, monthly basis. We have the meeting by the our HR and admin team to focus on that. And the plantation also surrounding our plant is focus area. Reduce the paper uses in the factories as well as the head office, to that support the our environment. Automation of the various packaging lines also we have implemented in the plant, which can support to the our sustainable and grow gain. And as we know that every company has the triple bottom line, social, environmental, and economical. All three aspects we are always considering while making that thing. In the store also, when we talk about the dispatch platform where logistics come play a role, that time also we have the focus that how we can reduce the that in energy, movement, how to reduce the movement of the vehicle, how to reduce the movement of the people within that machine, within a plant. These are the focus area which we are implementing during the our that from at the plant.
Fantastic. No, this is really helpful. This is really helpful. I think I know. I think there's a good learning for you. You actually have a platform. At least somebody is doing in a platform, in a global platform. How we actually can copycat it. I mean, I would do it shamelessly, right? I mean, somebody in the global level doing it, and I'll probably take it because it's a good for the overall nation and overall setup, right? I think because I know we are slightly behind, especially because of the commitment from top management, and there are focuses very different and so on and so forth. But if globally something is happening, how do I kind of leverage? That's very important. And many companies are doing it right away when they have a global sector, right? So that is fantastic. So thanks.
Because as a Ganesh, we are a global company and sourcing the different raw material from the different country. If you can say that Godiva is a big chocolater, so we take the material from the Brazil and other countries also, where the company is investing the money to make the sustainable project, and it should not be the harm to the environment.
Right. No, fantastic. No, thanks, Anas. This was really helpful. Probably I'll come back to you with some more thoughts, right? And probably I think we'll understand from Amit. Amit, I think thanks for joining us, right? And I know we are talking about e-commerce logistics, and without you, it doesn't, I think fulfill the overall session, right? I think. And before I start, I was reading recently, right? Your CEO and co-founder. He said, I was reading this particular quote: enhancing our sustainability quotient and the positive community. So that impact is an important for Express Breeze, as overall business growth and expansion. especially the sustainability quotient and the positive community impact, right? So these are the two important elements, and the two cannot and must not be decoupled. It has to be go together. And implementing this ESG, which empowers the Express B's, overall in practice across the country. That's what I think your CEO said. So you are already adopting the ESG policy, and I've read this in the news and stuff. Right? I think you already get at the call. Very glad to know, Amit. Right? One of my question is, for you, how? You're already doing it in terms of ESG policy, and you actually started the journey. How the journey you started? Especially you're looking at a organized and unorganized sector, logistics sector. I think both are you're handling it today. So how the journey started, and how are you measuring the progress, especially from a sustainability point of view? How are you measuring yourself, and what metrics you already are putting on the table, just to get a sense of that, Amit? If you could actually say your journey, where it started, how it's going, how are you measuring? Would love to understand from your viewpoint, Amit. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to everyone. See, ExpressB is one of the, I'll say one of the leading company and one of the fastest growing company in logistics sector in India. And, we started our journey in 2015. We were part of First Cry. We were not getting proper, logistics partner, because that time First Cry was a small company. So we are not getting logistic partner who can serve us with the way we wanted to serve our customer, with proper, delivery experience. So the initiative started to set up our own logistics company. And that was 2015. And later on, we thought, okay, if we can serve internally, we can serve to external consultant, to external companies also. And this is how the ExpressBees was born. And over a period of last 7 years, now we are a unicorn. So the basic fundamental we started is basically, it is based upon digitization. All the processes are digital. It started with papers, definitely, but then over a period of time, as Jatin explained, you study the process. Okay, you keep on plugging one process into another, make it more digital. Now, if you talk currently, we handle almost 5 million shipment in our system, right? I think it is impossible to handle this much volume on paper. So I will say this is the only way. Sustainable digitization is the only way to grow and to sustain in the business also over a longer period of time, right? So, and it's an ecosystem. For example, we pick almost 1.5 million shipment from almost 80,000 pickup point, and we deliver to 19,000 pin codes. And this all is digitized to give speed, give transparency, visibility. Manually, it is not possible. So the overall ecosystem has to be digital for this growth. And that will help us, and it will help us all the society also who are engaged with us directly or indirectly. No paper is the key, but still there are some paperwork required, but that is very minimal. Then transparency, then on the top of it, cost optimization. So once you have visibility, you can take a lot of decision very fast and accurate also. We'll talk about our warehouses which we built, right? Many of them are almost 5 lakh, 4 lakh square feet warehouse, right? We take care of each and every aspect of metal movement, how the employee is going to work over there, proper lighting. Are we going to use solar? How we are going to move metal movement, right, in the warehouse using electric fork, right? Then the employee also sees the benefit of it. He will see, okay, the overall environment is good, right? It is less polluted. There's the ease of working because things are digital. You can see on the palm, right? And there are defined work. So all this help into better productivity also. So I do feel digitization goes along with productivity, and maybe it is the only way to sustain and grow. For the ending.
Yeah, no, thanks, Amit. This is the super helpful. This is helpful. Thanks a lot. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Right, I think I completely understand, echo your thoughts, especially how you started journey and how you actually are embarking, and it is clearly there, visible, right? I think that's why I've seen. Thanks for sharing. Probably I'll come back with some more thoughts, some more questions to you. Probably I'll shift gear to Gaurav. Gaurav, thanks for joining us. So the question to you, I actually was, understanding the Burmer group, right? And when I was understanding, you actually have 5 core values which I've read, right? Ethics is obviously fine. Customer focus. Everyone want to do a customer focus. Quality, innovation, teamwork. So that is there, but the fifth one is sustainability. I think that is there in your core value already. So I think that's where I think you are committing to a high quality standards and to a sustainable business development, right? So when I read, I think I was impressed that you're looking for a continuous improvement of product, process, and organization, especially from quality as well as sustainability point of view. Very glad to know, which is there in your vision and mission of your company itself, right? So that I think with the note I want to start, Gaurav, right? So one of the questions which I want to kind of understand, I know you come from a rich experience from your.
I come from technology side.
Yeah. Okay. Right. From your context, how this is happening in your industry, in your company, how this is going on. See, one very basic question. I think let us be very frank, right? Whether this so-called sustainability, whether it is only internal goal to kind of achieve, or is it like a external need? Is it really happening in India? What is your thoughts? I mean, what is a carrot for me? End of the day, right? I'll go back and ask all the panelists here, but I think at least from your viewpoint, what is a carrot on the table? If let's say if I'm a CEO or CXO, I'm a senior VP or a GM. If I list down, hey, these are 5 different initiatives. I want to take my top management and say like we can do this. So what is the carrot? I mean, from your viewpoint, you as a group company, what you're doing, how you're actually embarking a journey. What do you think from your viewpoint, how it's happening today, whether it's internal or external? What is the carrot on the table? So just to get your thoughts, that would be helpful, Gaurav.
Yeah. So thanks for having me first. I mean, sustainability is a need of our, and we all understand that we have already missed the bus. So I think by 2035, the target is to be within the limit of global temperature increase by 1.5 degrees, and which is already looking quite difficult. And even a half degree increase from there are very serious consequences. And I think this is good that we are already at least understanding the gravity of the situation. And now this topic is one of the core topic in most of these forum discussions. And this is from where we can take it forward. Coming back, how we are living this as one of our core value. I think this has to be contagious, and it can only be contagious when it comes from the top. So what we have started doing a couple of years back in all our annual board meetings, in all our annual COC meetings, our agenda topics, the first and the foremost topic always being on sustainability, where all the group companies are coming up with their cases, how they are contributing, whether it is on functional side or on operational side, or related to the initiatives we have taken in our factories, like where I am sitting. I mean, we are our total energy source is right now renewable, so we are not using any grid. We are giving back to grid. Uh, and so these are small tweakings that what we are trying to follow, uh, and then bringing this knowledge into also our products. So now all our products, all our solutions comes with a global sustainability index, where we are measuring on three aspects: economic, environmental, and social. And under each of this, we have 5 topics, and then we benchmark and rate. And so every product, what our customer will get, will have that index on that. Uh, but still, the challenge is to ultimately convert into an enterprising value. And that's where I think, because ultimately, if you are not converting it something into enterprising value, and then finally converting it to something which is somehow can be a part of your bottom line, people are not going to take it that seriously. And that's where I think we are continuing with our efforts.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very, very loud to hear. Very loud to hear. At least this will be inspiration for people, right? I think because today, I think most of my client, I think, comes and asks me cost transformation, availability transformation, and so on. So what they say, 5 years back, this is one of the area to focus. But now today, at least I would actually see, like, 5 out of 10 clients come and ask, evaluate cost, evaluate network, evaluate your entire logistics, but also tell me where I'm standing in terms of the carbon emission, where I'm standing in terms of sustainability, because at least the awareness level has come, right? Today, I think at least let me measure myself. I'm actually, in a median or top quartile or low than median. I think at least awareness has come, and people actually want to understand and figure out. I mean, overall emission level in manufacturing, in logistics, and warehousing, where I'm standing today. Tell me where I can focus and reduce. So I think that is that of evolving.
So just sorry, just sharing an example. I will not name the customer, but it's a very recent one. So we were asked to meet a CEO of that company, and we were given a 3 hours slot. I mean, we were surprised at 3 hours, and then for 2 hours we only discuss on sustainability. So he just wanted to understand that as a company, and as a global company, how we are taking this and how this is reflecting in our overall business ethics and also into our solutions. And then rest 1 hour we discuss that project. So this is how I think, and this has to be a partnership. So it cannot be on technology supplier side, or it can also not be alone on the customer side. So it has to be a partnership, and then everybody has to understand ultimately the gravity of this topic.
No, very, very, very important. I think. I think. I mean, if it is about our suppliers, our transporter, our partners, how they are actually coming into ecosystem. That is also evolving. That's what I think you are rightly said, right? I think very good point. Thanks, Gaurav. Right. So probably I'll go back to Jatin, because Jatin, we started with the digitalization, how the system and platform is evolving, right? So one question to you, right? What is the adaptability rate of the companies today? See, as an e-commerce logistics, obviously, I really want to get a very good system on the table to run the entire logistics and so on and so forth. That is very good. So 2 questions, right? One is, I just slightly move away from green. First of all, I'll start with the technology adoption, first of all, for this logistics, e-commerce logistics sector, how that is there, what you have seen in the last 1-2 years in doing pandemic, and the technology adoption, not only focusing from a cost and working capital point of view, another point of view, also considering the green point of view, right? So how the technology adoption is happening, where do you see any lacuna you see, and any is it fear of failure or fear of capex or fear of anything else, right? Which is you have seen. I just want to get a sense, Jalin. So the adoption, the technical adoption and fear of adoption. Just want to get a sense from you. Yeah.
Great. I think that's a very valid question, and I have some interesting experiences to share. I think which also has to do with the fact that, see, the industry is now moving from on-premise systems to cloud-based systems, and we are talking about software. We ourselves are a software as a service, and there are a dime a dozen such options available. So the price point has actually come down drastically. The moment that happens, see, there is definitely a buy-in. So the decision making in terms of buying logistics technology, I think boardrooms are finding it quite easy to take that call. Which is which might augur well for people like us. There's no doubt about it. I mean, everybody is talking about it. Everybody wants to spend some resources on it, and the moment it becomes a SaaS, it becomes an OpEx item. And if it's an OpEx item, clearing it in the boardroom is not so tough. So yes, that's something as far as bringing it on and signing the check to get technology is concerned. As far as adaptability is concerned, Dr. Ganesh, what we've observed is that it totally depends on the logistics maturity of the organization, right? We also have certain criteria on the basis of which we decide how mature the organization is in terms of logistics processes and technology is concerned. So from the middle tier to the higher tier, those people find it easy to adopt technology, and the simple reason is that logistics technology there comes in as an add-on to their present ERP. Right, so that makes all the difference, because somebody who's already operating an ERP probably for their F&A function or human resource or production planning or MRP, those things are definitely underused, right? So people are using those systems, and the moment for them, logistics is that part which is totally unorganized. Logistics is that part which nobody wants to get into because it's very complex, and there are no clear SOPs. So when an organization like Atos, and for that matter, any technology company comes into the scene, they bring with them a lot of standard operating procedures, because technology, you cannot just overrun a step. So you have to follow those steps. What that also does is that it makes the life of a logistics guy, whether it is a dispatch supervisor or a picker or a somebody who's managing inward, outward operation. I'm talking shop floor, forget senior management and middle management. The moment they see this and they understand that, look, one step comes after the other, and that's making their life easier, adoption actually comes very, very quickly. So the days, when it used to be a trickle down effect, and then, talking of a technology that is being forced upon these people, it totally depends on, how soon can you make those people understand that it's actually improving their lives. And that is a fact. And then also thanks to e-commerce and retail, the kind of leaps and, growth that they have made in terms of improving the quality of operators. So the skill set today, which is available in the market, I still leave the labor part aside. But today, even a picker, move from a picker to a supervisor, those guys are mobile friendly. Those guys are, handheld terminal friendly. So that kind of makes the adoption easier. And lastly, again, related to sustainability, which, adoption kind of proves, is the fact that when they see that the cycle time of a process is reducing, or their efficiency and productivity is improving, and they're able to do more work, less fatigue in the same amount of hours, they're satisfied. But what they don't know is they're actually contributing to the sustainability, mandates of the company, because the same amount of time, more work is being done. So it's about people, it's about machines, and very adoption with respect to MHEs. Very interesting thing that I observed with one of our clients, that we also recommend that, okay, you bring in these racking systems, you bring in automation, you bring in an MHE. Now, how much is the MHE going to move? And as all of us on this platform would understand, that MHE has a life, right? It's going to be in hours. And how many hours of work is that machine going to put in exactly to convert how much throughput? So in the same amount of hours, if I can create more throughput, through the right put away algorithm or the right picking system, then the operator is also very happy that he's able to do more. So that's how you need to have a combination of a top down approach along with making the shop floor user understand that it's actually making his life easier, is when we are able to drive adoption. So I think that's where we are.
Thanks, Captain. I think this is fantastic, right? I think stepping back, I completely understand. Everyone actually really wanted to I think see the digitization on the table, but I think it's a fear, right? I mean, should I automate fully, or should I digitize fully, or should I go for intelligent automation, segment automation? The other thing comes on the table. Thanks for adding value, right? So
yeah, Dr. Ganesh, yeah, so just 1 second. So that's what, I think you've touched upon a very big point of fear, an apprehension. And that's where I want, you see, digitization is one of those things, especially today's context. You're not spending crores of rupees to bring in on-premise systems. People need to understand, decision makers need to understand that you bring in digitization in logistics, and that improves 3 things: your cost, your quality, your speed. All of that has a contribution on your green bottom line as well, because so when I build those metrics and KPIs, obviously you talked about measurement, that's a problem, but let me just cite a small example. I mean, if we could just do a benchmarking of how much time each activity is taking, and then be able to reduce it through digitization of those processes or part digitization of those processes, that's actually contributing to our green bottom line, right? So if we start looking at it like that, Dr. Ganesh, I mean, I'm sure you would agree that so many organizations can actually do a very low ticket expense on tech and still be able to say that they're sustainably conscious.
No, fantastic. This is really helpful. Maybe I'll probably switch gears to Amit, right? I think from an e-commerce logistics point of view, Amit, I just want to get a sense from you, right? So because one of the question is a green switch today? We have to switch ourselves to green, whether it is easier, because e-commerce logistics, we look at from an Indian overall logistics is little organized already in nature. So because my question is, I really why I'm coming from this question, right? Because today I can say optimize your fleet, rely more on clean energy. I can very well say, because I can go and say avoid the fossil fuels as you can, if you can, and use vehicles that actually can run on biofuels and electric power and so on and so forth. Right? But stepping back, I know there is an eco-friendly way, a pocket-friendly way for long distance shipment. I probably can go to a different mode of transport, like a waterways and railways and so on and so forth. But want to get your sense how this is happening today, especially from the from your viewpoint. How do you optimize fleet? What are the ways we can think of? Many companies are into the logistics and e-commerce logistics. What are the ways they can think of this? Some thought on your side would be really helpful, because this is one of the important areas people actually want to understand. Yeah.
Sure. See, logistics is one of our important and one of the key costs a logistics company have, right? And vehicle and manpower goes hand in hand. If I need one vehicle, I need one manpower.
Yeah.
So first thing I see is how much of the capacity I'm utilizing for a vehicle. For that, I need need to do the batching, need to do the routing, right? And probably need to do some cutoff and all that. So that technology helps in, because otherwise it's very difficult for you to calculate weight, volume. Okay, today I need one truck, okay, of this size. Okay, tomorrow I need one, probably 1.5, one big, one small, right? So we can calculate all these things in a flash based upon the volume I have and what is my dispatch plan. Number one. Number two, in terms of green switch, if you see the EV adoption, so I think all the e-commerce and related companies, they are experimenting continuously. If I put the numbers right, in 2011 and 2021, the EV sales was almost 1.1 lakh. 2022, it is almost 4. And I think this year, I was reading the Q1 number, only 4 lakh EVs has been sold in India. So with the infra getting built up, I think this is going to a long way, and there'll be exponential increase in use of EVs, especially in the last mile. And last mile is one of the key cost for us. My 30 to 40% of the overall cost goes into last mile, because these are individual shipment, goes to doorstep, right?
Right.
So we are progressing well in that, and many of these companies have a target of achieving 70%, 80% of their last mile, even 100%. So reading Flipkart, they want to do 100% last mile using EV by 2030. So that is the kind of goal people have set. So first thing is EV adoption is increased. Then with the use of technology, we try to utilize our routes. We try to utilize the capacities, and it goes hands in hand. It brings a lot of efficiency also along with it. And then, as I explained earlier, see, as Jatin explained, process and all, right? But for us, we can't even think any other way to manage this 50 lakh shipment. And there are other companies will be managing more volume than us.
Right.
So that is the only way to go and manage and show EBITDA positive, and all those targets are also there apart from sustainability. So it goes hands in hand.
Right. No, I think very good, because I was reading, right, especially you set up like this something called micro warehouses and so on and so forth, right? I think micro warehouses and micro pickup point. Is it also in the lines of sustainable delivery? Just want to get a sense, or goal is something else. Just want to get a sense of this micro warehouses, micro pickup point. Would that be also another strategy to think of, Amit? Yeah.
Sure. So as I explained, we pick almost from 80,000-90,000 points in a day. So I have to touch those points to pick the shipment and then bring it to a hub or mega hub, right? From where we do the local connection, mid hub connection, last mile connection, airport connection, right? So we build up micro hubs. We have built up small mid hubs connections, and then for line haul you need bigger. These are outside the cities and all.
Right.
So based upon the volumes and based upon how we are going to connect, when we are going to connect, we have built up a hub and spoke network, right? Which actually is based upon optimization of CapEx, OpEx, and logistic costs. So the calculation goes that way, right? And we keep on evaluating it. For example, if I take example, say I do a lot of pickup from Greater Noida, right? Which is 80 kilometers away from my main connecting hub, which is there in Gurgaon, right? So I may not be, flying small, because you have to pick up from, say, around 300 points. So what you do is you consolidate all the pickup of those 300 points of Greater Noida or Noida, and then you run one vehicle, right, from Greater Noida to, say, Gurgaon. So this is how you do the local consolidation, and then you bring this as a connect to the main hub. Because connecting all them directly from customer till the main hub will be a big cost, and it may not be practically viable to run that business. So this is how we consider it, and then hub and spoke model works to optimize the vehicle utilization, space utilization, connection time, right?
Got it. Helpful. This is super helpful. Thanks, Amit. I have one more question. I'll probably come back. I'll probably switch gear to Mr. Anil, right? Anil, one question. I mean, we discussed about the global versus local, how you are bringing on the table, right? But internally within your India context, right, what are the challenges? It's the manpower or talent or anything else, where you see, if I want to move a sustainability goal, I want to actually run the journey. So that's a goal I have, but what challenges you face and what ideas you're actually having in your mind to kind of suggest to the audience how to overcome that. I think you may also have some internal thoughts or internal ideas to kind of overcome those complexity, especially challenges and complexity towards sustainability goals. What are those from your viewpoint? How are you actually tackling it? Just want to get your thoughts on it. Yeah.
Ganesh, in fact, it is every business is interlinked.
Hi.
What our colleagues are also saying, that is also getting implemented in our organization, and it is also vice versa impacting. But basic thing which as we have to understood that is your mindset, cost, strong commitment. Okay, and everyone is now not well aware about the sustainability. They are considering whether it is a burden, yeah, it is opportunity. Okay, so when we are talking about the sustainability right now, if you can see in the most of the company, it is at the top level, not at the very effectively going to use at the bottom level. Okay, it is not that the sustainability can be the happen in the one day. It can be go a gradual process, and a small steps can also help the sustainability. So as per our understanding, it is required the time, it is required education, training, involvement, change of the mindset from the team level. Then it can be happen. If we can talk about like for example, if I can talk about the energy when we go in the warehouses, yeah, in the at the plant level, if you see that it is common that everyone can. It is not automatic off and on. If anyone can on, then it can be continue the go at the blow over there. But when we can educate and when we can make the importance about the sustainability, that is still lacking. And the acceptance of this is that because it is not the monetary benefit to see by the anyone. Okay, when we talk about the sustainability, it is not tangible to anyone can see that this is the benefit direct to come to the company. Yes, it is a top level, bigger company are using, but smaller and the mid-sized company is still not very effectively using this concept and making that project success. Okay,
Got it.
and if we can talk about the that particular suggestion, how we can, yes, I can say that we have to go for the more training, more awareness. Like this session is happening. Prior to that, there are the many other sessions I have seen on the different forum that it is happening. But at the ground level, it is still at the not at the effectively getting used. So for that, I think it is the change need the training to change the mindset. Innovation help the economical green initiative because everyone has the cost. Okay, when we talking about sustainability, uh, everyone ask cost बढ़ेगा या घटेगा? Cost बढ़ेगा, अच्छा रहने दो बाद में. We have to see later. Okay, it is a practical thing which we are talking. It is not a theoretical where I read and giving you the things. If I can go and ask the anyone in the uh, organization or other thing, they first think about the cost. So we have to see the innovation, how it can make the economical green initiatives, and making a more defined scope about that, what is our objective, why we have to do it, and how it can be help to the society as well as the corporate and the environment. Clear indicators, how we can measure it, how the this sustainability, if anything I am going to do it, how it can measure it, and how we are going to because as we are the having the I am taking care of the procurement part. Okay, supplier, we have started putting the one clause in our contract with the supplier. We can give the preference 5% weightage to those supplier who is having the green initiative in their plant, who is having their good things doing at their plant level. So those are the things we have started to make the more utilization and concept of this sustainable, and that is supported by the management as well as the team also understanding how we are going to use it at the ground level. So if I can talk about the packaging, yes, we always explore the your different type of packaging which can support to the business. I can't say that I'm using the 100% sustainable packaging. Okay, but yes, we always try to eliminate like a tray pack, which is one of the ingredient being used in the biscuits. If you can see that, if you can buy there, the many product is having the tray pack. We have explored that how we can eliminate the tray pack. It can save the cost, it can support the environment. Both aspect we are looking. It is not the one save side. We are just eliminating and taking a saving. So that can also going to impact on that. What are the other way on the corrugated box, laminates, poly packs? These are the things which are using in the raw material. What are the other raw material we are going to procure which can make the sustainable? Even though when we are talking about the sustainability, our global initiative that at the Brazil, they have the make the tie up with the farmers also, with the farming the cocoa and other thing, how make them the understand and how make return back to the environment, so that it can be make the sustainable part. Like that, there are the many other initiative every time the company is using, but still it is not a cup of tea for the everyone. It required the more involvement, more training, and changing of the mindset to go green.
Well said. Well said. I think we have to one the mindset behavior is very important. Right? I think we have to bring the right infrastructure is one important that's there. But I think we always say there's operating system, there is a management infrastructure, but the third thing is mindset and behavior, which is actually also very critical when actually bring that on the table. Like a lot of challenges will
Yeah,
actually
Ganesh, I can say you, if you can visit entire India,
right.
most of the multinational are having. If I can talk about Nestle, you can talk about HUL, you can talk about the bigger company. They have the concept and they are implementing. When we
Right.
talk about the middle size and lower size, which are in having the more your percentile in the country, they are still on the instant stage. They are not, even though at the lower team, you go at the see the warehouses, you see the transport. I did the audit of the IKEA a long back, 12-year back. They have the proper audit platform where they are doing the how the we have to ensure the our oil, our things, this garbage and everything from the coming from the transportation should not go in the landfill. It should not go in the environment. You have to proper policy to that dispose of. I have seen the many big company are there, but in the India, they compared to the bigger and smaller, they are the big gap, which still require the education and the involvement. And the big thing is that you have to give the incentivize, like a supplier, yeah, like a customer, like your individuals also. It is not that if I can sitting in my home, I am my light is on, my fan is on. It is also the type of small things which can help the sustainability. But if you can see, it is not happening. Most of the time, everyone is using their as per the convenience.
Very, very basic, but very important. I think you
Yes,
rightly said it has to come within. It has to come within from
yes,
individual,
yes,
and
yes.
it actually come for a team, and then it can go for a group as well, right?
Same thing can be replicated at the corporate level,
Right.
at the your warehouse level, transport level, your supplier level, your the everywhere. Even though in your the office where I am sitting, if you
Right.
can see or surround you, you can find out how much sustainability we are talking at the ground.
No, well said. Well said. Probably I'll have the one last. I mean, in the last round of question, I'll probably touch base this. What support required from each one of us, right? So, from the government of India,
I,
from the
I was joined the last 15 day back one sustainability program in the our that organized by ISSCM at
okay,
the your Aerocity, where
okay,
the same was discussing everyone like a Coca-Cola was there, Nestle was there. Everyone has the big concept, but at the ground level, it was not happening. Because of that, government initiative should be the more towards the customer awareness and the customer benefit.
right.
Okay, you require the cess for the every work. Why you are not incentivized to the supplier or that corporate? See the how much difference can be happen.
Right. No, I think well said. I think taking a lead from your point, right? I think I'll go to Mr. Gaurav, right? And Gaurav, I think my question is towards your company only. I know you have a product and system for multiple industry, but you are doing for e-commerce as well, right? The good receiving, handling of return, storage, sorting, packing, shipping, everything, right? So, but you as a chief of sales and stuff, right? When you get a request, a service request, right, from any of your customer, is it coming from a context where they need this product and solution just to kind of implement, or they also come to you? Can you implement in a greener way, or can you bring this in a sustainability aspect? Is it coming there on the table, or how are you actually progressing there? How are you positioning this one of the pillar, which is actually comes under your purview of product and system? So how do you do that today? What is happening in the world from your customers? How this awareness evolving? How are you? I mean, you might be doing by yourself and so on and so forth, right? So I just want to understand both facets. Just to get a sense from your point of view, Gaurav. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is where I would say one of our USP also, and sometimes we also struggle with that because this is in our very nature that whenever a new RFQ comes, I mean, we always go into conceptualization, and that's where I think we actually love keep discussing with our customers, doing workshops, and always challenging the best optimization steps. So that is, of course, a point. And just to further classify that, I mean, how we are driving it here in Boimer world. So we have basically classified at 3 stages. So first is the step of conceptualization, and where we do see that design and planning, which contributes typically 65 to 70% of overall project lifecycle cost. And that's where I think it is very, very important to remain very, very focused on designing and conceptualization phase. And that's where we are using a lot of digital tools, digital twins. uh, we do simulations, emulations during the designing phase only when we are submitting our proposals. Second step is once we are delivering, then we go with OEE module. So we have those dashboards where we talk about overall system effectiveness. And there we take 3 parameters: availability, quality, and accuracy. And then there are then under each there are multiple KPIs, and that we work together with our customers. And this becomes much more important when we are talking about this business of e-commerce warehousing. And the third is, of course, the conditional monitoring solutions, where we are talking already about preventive, proactive measures, and controlling your spare inventory. So that's how we have classified here in Weimar. And further, of course, e-commerce is a big topic. And I mean, we come from technology, so what we can contribute is from the technology side. But then I think also 2 topics which are also quite important, which are somehow also related with methods. Uh, One would be, of course, last mile, where Amit already shared his experiences. And I think last mile is something where we do see a lot of traffic, and
Did we lose?
can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Maybe it's my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and third, I think a topic which we have not touched upon in this discussion is, I think, reverse logistic. Uh, the 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 return percentage. So I'm not so sure. Maybe Amit can give more details on that, but I think it is not less than 10% or maybe more. And during festive times, I think it reaches a peak of 25. And that's where if we can be, I think, more intelligent, that how we reduce that thing. I think that can be really, really helpful in this overall sustainability initiatives and reducing carbon footprints. So I was just so we keep sharing. So we have a knowledge center here in Boimer, and so whatever happens around the globe. So there was a sharing on that. So there is a very nice concept of this parcel lockers, and where I think customer can just go to that locker, and if you want to return, just put it in there, and then from there the 3PLs or direct e-commerce are taking it away back. And just a very small example, but then how much it can save in terms of overall efforts, resources, and of course ultimately the carbon footprint. So uh,
Yeah, helpful. This is really helpful. I think we touched upon multiple subtopics, right? So, from your viewpoint, I probably go to Captain Jatin, right? So, Jatin, I think one element from a ATOS, your platform point of view, right? So, one is like a complete end-to-end platform that I know, but there is something called analytics also, right? I mean, the overall decision analytics also is one of the vital element, because I know your platform does it as well, right? So, one question from my side would be how the analytics evolving, the decision analytics evolving in the context of the green and sustainability. So where I think people can use it in the e-commerce logistics. So how that is helpful. So you might have seen this in the past. So that's helpful to kind of get to know your views. And there are a few questions coming around from the audience. So maybe the next 2-3 minutes, hear from you. Quick one-round question, maybe a 30-second question answer from each one of you, just to get your thoughts, Jatin. Yeah.
I think for us, one is that we are offering analytics as a part of our platform, and what that does is that through a data lake, we are able to capture all the data that is being created through transactions on inventory movement and management. The relationship between analytics and sustainability, I think, is most importantly proven through our cycle time and efficiency KPIs. Now, let's say that for one particular customer, it's only yesterday that we were doing their quarterly review, and we could see that their throughput had increased by about 350% in 1 month over April 22 to May 2022. So what that goes to show is obviously that their throughput has drastically increased, but the people deployed to run that operation has not increased. So what I'm talking about is per unit cost of logistics. And what that also goes to show is that with the same manpower and equipment, they're able to manage that kind of volumes in their business. I think that goes a long way in saying that if they have the right processes, if they have the right systems, they should be able to manage their throughput very well. So that reduction in cycle time, also efficiency, I think that's another. Productivity is one, but efficiency is the other, which is something that we target through our analytics. Now all that data that's getting captured is also telling them how efficient their operations can be. What are the shift timings, how much are we able to really drive in 8 hours, how much are we able to drive in certain, like, end of the month period. You have to be very, very efficient because India has this cyclical spike towards the end of the month. So how are they able to manage that, and how to level and balance out their resources? Like one of our customers, depending on the advanced stock notification,
Right.
You see, depending on how many ASNs they're going to handle on the next day, they give their requirement for labor contractor, right? So they are in a model where they're leasing contractors and leasing machines. So if we can give them that intimation, and through the visibility driven through technology and analytics, they have an understanding, they know the pattern, so they plan their resources accordingly. And then two things: one is that increase the speed of operations, second is reduce the per unit cost of logistics.
Right.
So we are able to sort of take both in tandem and give them the right results.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Jatin. One question from the audience, right? Maybe Amit, I hope that is fine if I actually dive with the question to you. So, the frequent deliveries done by food e-commerce retailer tend to impact the carbon footprint. What are the plans of industry to adopt green vehicle? You already touched upon the EV. So, any thoughts from your side, Amit? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if you see the last mile, as rightly said, okay, it increases traffic, but somebody has to go and collect, or somebody goes from his own transportation, right? That also is cost. Now, coming back to the food deliveries, mostly, each food delivery is single order most of the time. Maybe sometimes they club 2 order, 3 order, right?
Right.
And if you see, I see in my society, earlier, if I talk about 2 years back, most of these guys used to come on a bike of petrol. Now I see many of them come on an e-bike, they come on cycle also, and they come on a hybrid model in which there is a battery and there is a cycle, right? The battery goes off, they can pedal it. I do feel it is catching up very fast, and especially if you talk about Zomato, Swiggy, right? They have various incentive plans also, and since it is a cost, right? So delivering using a e-bike or e-cycle is much more, it may be 30 to 40% economical than delivering using a petrol bike, right? So the shift will be very fast. I think, and the government is also pushing. If you talk about Delhi, there is a subsidy of almost 10 to 12%, right, on the e-bikes or even on cars. So at these kind of locations, the shift will be very fast, and it's a part of CSR initiative also. As per various studies, in next 4 to 5 years, maybe by 2028 to 30, this last mile overall piece will be on EVs, right? So that is the answer, but it's a gradual thing. A lot of things, there is a bottleneck in financing it. The financing models are also evolving so that they can fund these guys to buy a bike or to buy a e-scooter. So that is also on the way. A lot of companies were getting into financing those. There are companies getting into renting those. Suppose somebody want to work for 1 year, right? He to buy a bike, right? He can even rent it on a monthly basis. So I do feel, over next 4 or 5 years, the adoption will be very fast, and it should touch around 80 to 90% next 5 years by 2028 or 29. And definitely the cost advantage is also there.
Right.
So it is evolving rapidly.
Got it. No, helpful. Thanks, Amit. Any support required from government? I think if we use this platform, what do you think? Some kind of support might be required of you as an industry. What do you think?
I think it will be helpful, one, to finance this, because everybody doesn't finance a vehicle as of now.
Right.
Second is, the charging station, the speed, the infra need to be built up, right? In which the government as well as, private players can come into. Third is probably technology, right? Which can guide people, okay, this is the nearest charging station, right? And, the ecosystem need to be developed. Fourth is, if you can incentivize, so there are few states, few cities which are incentivizing e-vehicles, right? Not everybody.
Right.
Like in Delhi, it is there. I'm not sure. Bombay, Calcutta, you go to any other place, these subsidies are not there. Fourth is, if we can mandate various, two-wheeler companies, right, and provide some, subsidy or, provide them, probably government support in terms of setting up these plants, bringing new technology, probably, battery swapping. So many things can be done.
Right. No, very, very clear, and really helpful, Amit. Maybe Gaurav, from your viewpoint, support from the government, support from the overall setup. So, any thoughts from your side? The government initiatives and government thoughts, would be helpful, Gaurav.
I mean, government side, of course, we have UN initiatives, 17 golden rules, and
Right.
and ultimately, it is, I think, the responsibility of every single one of us.
Right.
And then we all have to take the onus that somehow we have to reflect in all our decision makings, in all our actions, and that's how I think we can only address this. Uh, and as Anilji, Anilji was quite loud on this, and but it seriously make a lot of sense, because still we are not understanding the gravity. I mean, what we are going to what we are going to leave for the generations to come, we are still not understanding that.
Very, very clear.
I have a point over here.
Right.
Like a government has started the Swachh Bharat.
Yeah.
That started not from the home. It is home charity. If you can see now, the kids are you playing the critical role at the home.
Yeah.
Therefore, whenever we have the such type of gravity and the big topic, it also start from the beginning, so that the coming generation can also understand, and whatever the possibility we are having, we can implement at then and there.
Fantastic. Well said. I think it's a fantastic discussions, multiple topics, especially how the the digitization, the system platform, that I think will help. How do we kind of step back and think through the fear, Captain Jatin? I think very valid points you mentioned. And Amit, I think you brought in your journey and how we can think step back and think through and also the viewpoint from an EV point of view. I think super value add from your side. Gaurav, I think yeah, you shared your complete journey in the sustainability point of view and how it is actually kind of evolving from your context. I think really value add. Thanks to Mr. Anil as well, right? I think you touched the basic part. Very, very important. Maybe last 1 minute from my thought, with that, we probably, any additional questions, Shyam, I think if you have it on the table, we can do it, but maybe at a 60-second level, right? I just want to give the importance to the entire audience. So as I mentioned, yeah, resilience, very important. Digitization technology is very important, but the sustainability, because customers are really, really, really actually need the transparency on the demand. They're demanding transparency, demanding the emission reduction. They're calling for a supply chain to be more sustainable. So that is the three pillars, the three key trends evolving. And if you see that, I think gaining a lot of momentum today, right? If you see like 2/3 of consumer expect to limit the impact on climate change. That is happening in the overall world. And 5% investors are raising the bar. You need to have a complete end-to-end supply chain. My supplier, my ecosystem, my transporter actually has to be, bring sustainability on the table. That's why I think the investor actually raising the bar. Somebody want to grow, somebody want to kind of embark a journey, then you need to really step back and think through this green. 30 to 50% of the corporate profits are at stake from external challenges. This is also another element. That's why if you see 150 plus companies are actually calling for a green recovery, and that is happening. 80% of the millennials prefer companies with a sustainable value proposition. That is also next generation people. My son is saying, right, that I think I want to go for a sustainable product. He actually been to the Murugan Idli shop, and there is a certificate which is mentioned about sustainability. And he took a photograph. I will use in this project. I'll use for my project. See how the restaurant are actually embarking a sustainable journey. I think if you see the next generation are, as Ms. Anil was saying, right? I think they are actually getting more momentum on the table. That's well happening. And from McKinsey survey, we have seen 73% of the global consumer definitely change their consumption habits. People are saying that they will reduce the impact of environment. That is evolving from a global angle. 81% of the global respondents from our survey, they said extremely important. Sustainability is extremely important to implement the right programs to benefit the environment. So there is a fantastic awareness, there is a fantastic need on the table. 30% of the global response from our survey indicating that they are willing to pay a premium for products that deliver on a social responsibility claims, right? So this is what the survey result indicated, right? And there are many companies like HUL, if you ask me, 50% across product life cycle, they want to kind of reduce by 2030 compared to 2010. Microsoft, 30% reduction in 2030. AstraZeneca actually having a 20% per million USD of sales by 2025 and so on and so forth, right? So that way I think it's a fantastic awareness going on. And one point which I want to put it, right? The transformation cannot happen easily. You need to bring the cost impact along with the emission impact to gain the attention from the top management, right? And there are multiple levers, but try to put the levers, this is the impact on sustainability, on the emission, on the cost. If you're able to bring this value on the table, because from my experience, many companies have seen this at a joint initiatives, at a cost plus sustainability initiative. So that I think if you're able to think through an effective way, then obviously there will be a very good attention from the top management as well. Thanks to the panel member for a rich and very insightful thoughts. Definitely, this is a journey for all of us. Maybe in the next decade, we will actually shift the entire world in this part. Any additional thoughts from any of you, Dr. Banu? Anything from your side?
Yes, sustainability and resilience are important, as you mentioned. That is why we have introduced these 2 scale awards in our coming edition. Right. We have introduced a sustainability award and resilience award. Right. McKinsey is the knowledge partner. As you precisely mentioned, we have already introduced that as an initiative. Looking forward to companies to join that. Yeah.
No, fantastic. I think thanks, Dr. Banu, for reminding. Right. So I think scale awards, no introduction. Every year we are actually enriching ourselves to move to a newer topic, very richful topic. So this time, resilience award and sustainability award, we are bringing on the table, and many companies are actually thinking, right? Are you actually ready? Are you ready for it? It's a readiness, right? I mean, how do you kind of getting ready for it? And I know we need to stand up and get ready and have to run, but at least are we ready? Are we ready? The prerequisites are ready, and it is not about I'm actually have a 5 out of 5 maturity. That will take time, but do you have a basics in place? And that's where I think it's very important. This may be a good platform for you. The Scale Awards can be a good platform for you to kind of get recognized, right? At least my company started doing it, thinking about it. We are getting ready into it. I think utilize this opportunity, grab the awards from both angle, resilience award and the how do I mitigate risk and be more resilient. I already started thinking about sustainability. I'm having this in my agenda. So grab this award. This actually will bring, for me, I think, self-satisfaction as an individual. And for your company, it's actually a growth, obviously, right? Because your customers, your partners, this is a company which I wanted to collaborate. That thing will come on the table, right? So utilize this opportunity. Thanks to all panel members for this wonderful discussions. Thanks for spending time on a Friday evening. Go back and have a fantastic time with the family. I think work-life balance is also very important. So sustainable work-life balance is also very important as we talk about sustainability, which is also a very critical element. So thanks to CII for this wonderful event, the e-commerce retail supply chain, which is very important agenda, and under which bringing this green initiatives as one of the subtopic. Doesn't matter whether this is a very super need of the hour, or it's going to come in the next 1-2 years. If you don't think about this now, and we will lose the bar, we lose the competitiveness, right? So in that angle, you have brought the topic, Dr. Banu. I think I really appreciate to bring this as one of the subtopic. You're always driving this topic in every sector what you touch, and I think that's further hats off to you. And there are a few elements I think we want to take to Government of India from you as a channel. So definitely, I think some of the
in fact, when we have as an agency, CII, FICCI, any other whoever is agency working in India, they should put up all the points across the table with the government, because when we talk about the triple bottom line, it is asking the social, how we can socially make the impact on that, and the sustainability, how the environmental, how it can be impact, economical. When we talk about all 3 pillars which we are talking, that is need some different type of the arrangement to make the more effective and awareness by the route to the top. It is not that the discussion is happen at the middle management and top management. How it can be go at the bottom, that is very important. Then it can be success.
Fantastic. Well said. Well said. Thanks a lot. I think we are on time, and thank you very much for all the panel members. Thanks.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a happy weekend.
I would like to thank all our sponsors, TVS Supply Chain Solutions, Here Technologies, and Boomer Group. And also a sincere thank to all the session chair, Mr. Shankar, Mr. Anil Arora, Mr. Varun Vadwa, Dr. Ganesh, and all the speakers. We had a wonderful session, wonderful day, a thought-provoking day, meaningful day. Thank you, every one of you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Nice of you.